Brahmagupta, born in about 598 AD, was an Indian mathematician and astronomer who eventually became the head of the observatory at Ujjain. Among his many achievements, he put the concept of zero as a number on a firm footing. Let's find out more about him. Brahmagupta was born at the end of the 6th century in Bilamala, the capital of Gujarat Desa, the second largest kingdom of Western India. At the time, it was a major centre of learning for mathematics and astronomy. Today, it's known as Binmal in Rajasthan. In 628, at the age of 30, Brahmagupta wrote the first and more important of his two books, called the Brahma Sfuta Siddhanta, which means correctly established doctrine of Brahma. It combines existing knowledge on astronomy and maths with a lot of new original material added by Brahmagupta. It's written in Sanskrit in a specific type of verse known as Arya meter. It contains some remarkably advanced ideas, including a good understanding of the mathematical role of zero, rules for manipulating both positive and negative numbers, a method for computing square roots, methods of solving linear and some quadratic equations, and rules for finding the sum of series. It's difficult for us to imagine what a novel and strange concept zero was when it first appeared on the mathematical scene. Zero had been used as a placeholder in positional number systems for a very long time. But what Brahmagupta did was introduce zero as a number in itself. He also laid down various rules for doing arithmetic with zero and with negative numbers, another innovation at the time. For example, he said, the sum of zero and a negative number is negative, the sum of a positive number and zero is positive, and the sum of zero and zero is zero. As far as subtraction goes, his rules are also those we still use today. A negative number subtracted from zero is positive, a positive number subtracted from zero is negative, zero subtracted from a negative number is negative, zero subtracted from a positive number is positive, zero subtracted from zero is zero. But with division, he ran into a problem. What he said, to paraphrase his words, was, a positive or negative number when divided by zero is a fraction with zero as denominator. Zero divided by a negative or positive number is either zero or is expressed as a fraction with zero as numerator and the finite quantity as denominator. Zero divided by zero is zero. In saying that a number divided by zero is a fraction with zero on the bottom, Brahmagupta was stating the obvious, and he avoids committing himself to what the actual value is of that fraction. That's not surprising, because it's a deep problem that wasn't resolved until much later, when mathematicians decided that dividing by zero is undefined. As I mentioned, Brahmagupta's book covered a lot of mathematical ground, including algebra and geometry. One of the discoveries he made in geometry is now known as Brahmagupta's theorem. It states that in a cyclic quadrilateral, that's a four-sided shape whose corners lie on a circle, having perpendicular diagonals, the perpendicular to a side from the point of intersection of the diagonals always bisects the opposite side. He also came up with a formula for the area of a cyclic quadrilateral, but because he never gave proofs of his theorems, we don't know exactly how he derived them. Later in life, Brahmagupta moved to Ujjain in the old kingdom of Avanti, which was a major centre in India for astronomy. In 665, at the age of about 67, he wrote his second major work, called Kanda Kadiyaka, which was a practical manual of Indian astronomy. Brahmagupta died in about 668 AD, the last and most influential of the ancient Indian astronomer mathematicians. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, hit the little bell if you want to get notifications of future videos, and I'll see you again very soon to discover more maths.